here we are in the winter, but fortunately I'm also in the sun. But I'm staying warm just the same. And the lemons are coming along beautifully. But I was talking the other day about speaking, about giving a speech and how people want to be a speaker. It's all the rage because people think that's the way that they're going to be able to sell themselves and their product or service. But when you get the chance to deliver a speech in public, whether you're paid or not paid, how are you going to put it together? When I teach people how to put a speech together, the first thing I do, I teach them how to write a movie. Now, does that sound strange? It's not really, because, I've been around movies and television all my life, and I've been a screenwriter, so I know what puts a good screenplay together. And it's the same thing that puts a great speech together. You have to have a beginning, and that beginning is what we call Act 1. And then you have to have a middle, a story. That's what we call Act 2. And then you have to finish it off with a payoff, which is what we call Act 3. Now, in a movie, the central part of it, Act 2, the story, is obviously the most important part, and so it's the longest part. But then you've got Act 1, the setup, where you have to set up what kind of movie it is, whether it's a drama, whether it's a comedy, whether it's a kids' film, whether it's a horror, whatever it is. You have to set it up there so people in the audience know where they are. Then something happens that takes us into the story proper, where the hero or heroine has to deal with all sorts of setbacks and challenges. And we live through that with them on a roller coaster of excitement and fear and danger. And then we finally resolve it all. In the final act, the last act, what happens is that everything comes into place, or should do. Because movies with an unhappy or disastrous ending don't always make any money. Now, it's exactly the same when you're preparing a speech. You've got to have your first act where you introduce yourself. Tell them, this is me, this is what I do, and this is what I'd like to share with you. And then you share with them a story. Maybe 2 stories if you have time, because it depends whether you're doing 10 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour in your speech. And in this middle act, the story, you tell them how you did something for a client, or how you helped someone, or what your product is able to do for people. And that's a happy, interesting, fascinating, triumvirate story. It's one of patience and one of winning. And then you finish with your last act where you wrap it up by pulling it all together and reminding them. So, this is who we are, this is who I am, this is what we do, and this is what our product or service can do for you. 3 acts. But first you write the movie, at least in outline form. You don't have to write the whole hour or 2 of movie, but in outline form you write your movie, then you translate that into a speech. And another time, I'll tell you how to learn it, because that's really tricky.